it wasn't so much my dad that got me interested in the service. It was that program and my desire to fly. And it turns out in the 8th grade, my father had saved us. They had us write an autobiography. And I had written that I wanted to be an engineer in the Air Force and fly airplanes in the 8th grade. And so it turned out I was interested in the cadet life, and then I became in the flying, and the Air Force Academy opened up at a propitious time for me. I was in the 7th graduating class.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's go to the academy. So was there anything in there though that you kind of that held you back, that kind of maybe I shouldn't do this, or was all gung ho?
Uh, my parents were certainly supportive, but the first year back, at that time, you didn't get to go home at Christmas. So you stayed there for a year as a dually, which is the 4th classman. And I remember going home, and I had an aunt ask me what I was doing. I said, "Oh, I'm at the Air Force Academy." He said, "Air Force Academy? I thought you were going to go to college and make something of yourself." And but that was typical. I wasn't going to be a doctor. I wasn't going to be an attorney. But so what good were you?
I interviewed someone.
It wasn't that they were trying to demean it or anything. They just were ignorant.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my very first roommates, great guy, Roger Ruman, from Oklahoma. He had never met a Jew before. And one day he says, "Jesus, Sabin, you don't have horns." Go figure. But I was I never was subjected to overt, I'm not aware of covert discrimination against me for any reason as a Jew.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did not have that problem.
Right.
And I don't know of many who did. There was discrimination against people for all sorts of reasons. But I had the support of my superiors usually. I had the support of the troops who worked for me. I had a great career. I can't complain.
Right.
Selected to go to graduate school 2 times by the Air Force. I chose to retire because I looked around at the lieutenant colonel and said, one, I didn't want to go to, they were going to probably send me to the intermediate service school in Montgomery, Alabama, and I didn't want to take the 2 kids to schools in Montgomery, Alabama on that. And so there was a question, well, maybe you leave them behind and you go, which was a possibility. But I also looked around and said, there are a lot of full colonels with crummy jobs. And right now I got a really good job. And I've got certain clearances that are worth a lot of money. Maybe it's time to go ahead. And I had a good friend who had gone through a similar analysis and made a similar decision. Maybe now's the time, and rather than wait for the board, then get selected for full colonel, and then turn it down, I pulled my name early and decided it was time to pull the plug.
Right.
And, would I have liked to have stayed, made full colonel, maybe even general officer if I could have. Yeah, but I have no complaints, and I think our family was much better off for the decision we made.